Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at FabFilter Pro-Q, specifically how to utilize this amazingly powerful EQ to help balance the tonality between your drums and your bass guitar. Now oftentimes there can be a lot of low-end confusion there, but I'm going to show you very simply how you can take this wonderful plugin and utilize it easily and quickly to clear up some of that low end. Let's get started. EQing bass, guitar, and drums can be an art form. It's something that a lot of people often struggle with, or sometimes come very easy depending on the circumstances of your tracking situation. But regardless, it's tools like this here at FabFilter Pro-Q that really put so much power and creativity into your hands these days. Let's take a listen. I put this plugin here on my stereo drum track. Now, as you can see, it has a real-time spectrum analyzer. And new here in Pro-Q is the spectrum grab. Watch as I leave my mouse there. You can see how an image of those peaks hold themselves. I can now create nodes anywhere along that line to begin editing this with the EQ. I can see I've got a lot of energy, around 202 hertz to be exact. See down here, you can see the information as I move my mouse left and right. And my kick drum is predominantly here between 50 and about 75 hertz. Now let's take a listen to the drums with the bass guitar. I also inserted the plugin here on the bass guitar. That's what we're looking at now. Much of my low-end energy is here, between 30 and about 400 hertz, with a nice peak here at about 131. Now they don't sound bad together already, but oftentimes as you begin mixing songs, the process is very cumulative. So you want to be mindful of subtractive EQing sometimes. Sometimes subtractive EQing actually is a different form of boosting frequencies that aren't being subtracted. So keep that in mind too. Let's open up both plugin windows together. Here I'll have my bass guitar on one side and my drums here on the left side. Now what we're doing is looking at the drums here on this side and the bass guitar on the right side. I can begin to see that, okay, I probably want to subtract a little bit of this low energy that's peaking around somewhere around 130 hertz. If I wanted some more lower end energy, I might target this 70 hertz here. Why don't we start there? I'm going to simply now select using the spectrum grab feature and create a subtractive node. And there it is. Pro-Q creates it for me and I'm ready to go. And as well as creating that node, I now have access to adjusting the frequency here and the gain, reduction, or boost, and the size of the Q. Okay, so let's take this from the top again. Let's hear it without this. Already sounds a little bit more clear, doesn't it? And we can do the same thing now. I'm going to add a node here around 130. There we go. And I'm going to do some more subtractive. You could actually use this to chase some of those peaks and stop when it feels just right to you, like so. All right? Now let's do the same here. I want to boost some of my kick drum here. So I'm going to select somewhere around 60 hertz. As you can see, again, I'm using the spectrum hold feature. And I'm going to create a boost there. And there's my node. Now I want a wider Q here for this. I don't need so much of a gain boost, I don't think. And I can sweep that frequency to get much more detail, greater detail. I can see that my snare drum lives right about here at 200 hertz. Okay? And I can freeze this. I can grab that, create another node, Let's say I want to lower that one a little bit. Because if I boost it, that's a wonky sound. Hear that? Very boxy. I want to warm that up a hair. So I'm going to subtract it just a little bit. So we've done some boosting and some subtracting here. Let's take a listen. Let's compare these two now. I'll bypass them both. Bypass the drums here and on the bass. So this is what we originally started with. Keep in mind, I haven't done a lot of aggressive EQing here because I just want to demonstrate the techniques. Now let's bring them in. A lot more kick presence and a little more clarity here on the bass guitar. As you can see, using Pro-Q is extremely easy and very creative. And when you're carving out EQ frequencies, you want something that helps keep you in that zone where you're not having to stop and think too much. That's something I really love about FabFilter Pro-Q here, is that you can grab that frequency utilizing the spectrum grab tools and start manipulating it while listening to the audio in real time. And to me, real-time audio editing is where it's at. Stay creative and you make your edits and you stop when it sounds and feels right to you. This is the FabFilter Pro-Q here, doing some drums and bass guitar editing. Stay creative and thanks for watching.